Good day, everybody, and what's up? Welcome to the podcast for Selfless Sex and She Comes First. My name is Dr. Nick. Today is March 31st, 2026, and I hope everyone is doing the best they can out there. Unfortunately, there is still a lot of shenanigans going on all around the planet, basically caused by one person who shall remain nameless, but anyhow, I'm still going to talk about sex, so fuck it. So, today's topic actually comes from a conversation I had with someone about a week or so ago, and they were talking about trying to spice things up in the bedroom, and for the most part, they had a pretty good go of it, and things seemed to work out pretty well for them, and a couple things didn't. So, today I want to talk about trying to possibly spicing things up in the bedroom in a good way so that everyone has a good experience. So, let's talk about that today. So, to get this podcast started, let me say this first, right off the bat. You have to talk about spicing things up in the bedroom. Because if you don't, things can go wrong very quickly. Meaning there is a big difference between being surprised and being spontaneous. Because when you surprise someone, they may not know what's coming. So you really can't just be like, hey, I'm going to spring this on on my partner right before we do it. That typically doesn't go well versus being spontaneous where you guys are both on the same page, you talked about it, you both agreed to it, you're kind of excited about doing it, but you don't know when it's going to happen. So then you're doing X, Y, and Z, and you're like, oh, let's try it now. You know what I mean? So you have to set the stage first. So you got to talk about what you want to do, and then you both agree to it first. Because being surprised is fun in certain circumstances. But most of the time when it's fun, you've already talked about it. And that kind of falls under the big umbrella of being spontaneous. But still, you got to talk about it first. This list comes from an online site called The Gentleman's Journal. Number 1, try sending flirtatious messages throughout the day. So you can send something about how horny you are for them, how much you miss them, how much you want to kiss them, how you can't wait to taste them, such on and so forth. But don't forget, these are just me spitting out things. You know what works best for you and your partner or partners. So be sure to tailor them to what you know that they will like. Because we can't say, I can't wait to fuck you in your ass tonight. Now, for some people that works. In others it may not. But I'm just letting you know what works for your partner, so do that. Number 2, dating each other. Even though you could be married for a week, a year, 10 years, 20 years, 25, 30 years, and you guys hung in there all that time, well, first, you're doing something right. But I dare to bet people who have hung in there all that time, they still date each other. And they put each other first outside of all the other shenanigans that are going on. Work life, stress, parents, parenting, they still fall back and put each other first. So, and I guarantee you, they take each other out every once in a while. And at the very end of this podcast, I'm going to have some tips on dating too. So be sure to hang in for those. Number 3, we have role plays. So you can play characters, you can play doctor, you can play airline pilot where the stewardess comes to visit the cockpit or something. I'm making stuff up, I don't know. But just get in the character, have fun. You can play dress up as, like you, or something that a lot of couples are doing now, even though they are married, they still go to a bar and like act like they're meeting for the first time. So, so they kind of like hook up in front of people and Even though they know that they're married or they have time in or have been dating for a few years, they just come up and, hi, my name is so and so. Oh, yeah, my name is so and so. And you start talking, and then, they go home and have sex. I don't know, whatever works for you, but role plays. Number four, we have sexual fantasies. Now, I'm all for sexual fantasies, full stop. I have to go back to the beginning again, where you have sexual fantasies, you have to talk about them with your partners or partners first, just to see if they're on the same page, because sometimes things may be a little bit too much for your partner to handle. And let me say this too, this is very important. Some things need to stay fantasies. Because, yes, in your head, everything works out fine. But in reality, things may go completely sideways and actually end up scarring you in a bad way. So, yes, sexual fantasies are a lot of fun. Start small and build off of that. Don't just go from 0 to 100, because you can fall on your face and things won't end well for you. Number five, adding a little danger to your sex life. Let me say this: you know what your state laws are, you know what your federal laws are. So, some people may want to engage in something public, like public sex. Don't blame me if you get caught. Some people may consider being dangerous as like not wearing panties on a windy day. Cool. Other people may want to engage in sexual activities under the table. Like you sit there and you kind of tickle each other. Or some people actually crawl under the table and perform oral sex at a restaurant. A word to the wise: if you're going to do that, make sure you have long tablecloths that go all the way to the floor. People can't see what's going on, but you know what's going on, and depending on if your waiter or waitress is good, they may get a free show. But, so I'm just saying, but don't forget, if you get caught, it could be illegal. You go into jail. Don't mention my name, because I got nothing to do with it. And number six, which is pretty simple, and this one's kind of fun actually, but take some time to explore each other's bodies. For example, let's say you're at home watching a movie or something like that. The kids could be in bed or whatever, and you may have clothes on or not. It doesn't really matter. And you just kind of just touch each other's bodies. Not necessarily always grabbing a tits or a penis or vagina or whatever. Just hold each other and get some of that skin contact. That skin on skin contact is actually very important for us humans, because we have something called skin hunger. Don't believe me? Look it up. It's an actual thing. Basically, it's just skin on skin contact where you're just touching each other and even just holding each other. And that's a lot of fun. It may seem it's not dangerous or anything like that, but when it comes to building intimacy, it's very important. Now, to close out this section of the podcast, let me say this: bringing toys and accessories into the bedroom can be fun. Now, this is a two-parter. So, some of these things can include like blindfolds and handcuffs and like little chains and silk pillowcases and neckties or whatever, just to for some light B&D, S&M activities, whatever. Once again, you have to talk to your partner prior to bringing these things into the bedroom, because they can be shocking. They may catch someone off guard, like, what the fuck is this? This is not my scene. Or you may get the complete opposite, where they actually show you what they have, and it scares the shit out of you, because they got the leather, the chains, the locks, the clips, and you're not ready for it. So always have this conversation prior to doing this. I think about what 7 or 8B, sex toys. Now, as you know, I'm a big fan of sex toys. I have my own tickle chest over here. But Some people can be intimidated by your sex toys. So, ladies, if you have a dildo that is 12 inches long, it's big, it's black, and it's veiny, and your partner is nowhere near that size, that could scare him a little bit. Number two, if you have a vibrator, I am a big fan of vibrators too. Now, if you plug in your vibrator and the lights dim, he could be intimidated by that. Number three, if you have to turn on your vibrator like you're starting a lawnmower, like you got to pull on the thing to get it started, he could be intimidated by that. Number four, if your vibrator has a horsepower rating, he could be intimidated by that. So, some things you got to keep inside your own tickle chest. Introduce them to your partner slowly. Let them bring over there so you can see what they're working with. And you can be like, oh, this thing is so cute. This is nice, whatever. And keep your horsepower stuff hidden to the side. It's all good. But talk about this stuff prior to. This way no one is shocked and or surprised. So before I go, I want to say this. As you know, I like to end my podcast on a high note. So I want to talk to you about something called the 777 rule and also the 333 rule. So, what is 777? Every 7 days, you should go on a date. Every 7 weeks, you should spend a night together out of the house. And every 7 months, you two should go on a vacation somewhere where the kids are not around. And to close out this podcast, we have the 333 rule, or 3x3 rule, rather. What is that? You need to spend at least 3 hours by yourself for self-care, doing something that you like to do. It can be every week or every month, but make sure that you spend 3 hours taking care of yourself. Spend 3 hours together as a couple. You can even just go to a movie. Just hang out together. FaceTime. Not Facebook FaceTime, but spend time together in each other's face. You just hang around each other. Which leads to the 3 C's to enhance your intimacy. It's commitment, communication, and change. Because don't forget, if you keep doing the same thing in the bedroom over and over again, or doing the exact same thing, things can go flat fairly quickly. So, on that note, I'm out. You guys have a great day. Stay tuned, and I will talk to you soon.